Are you excited, Tessa? Who's ready for a final update? Who's ready for a new video, Tessa? Are you ready?
We go.
Yeah, time to honky-tonk again already. Alright, so there's two vinyl updates coming. One was a rock and metal update, and I was fixing to do that one today. But you know what? I've just been spinning what you've been hearing in the background right now all day long. So it's time to do a honky-tonkin' update. There's a stack of them here. They've all been played, so let's check them out. And what's in the background? If you don't know, now you know. It's Eric Church's Chief. I love Eric Church. I don't care what anyone says. You know, amongst new country artists, there's those that capture the classic sound, and those are fantastic. We've looked at a bunch of those. There's those that are just pure Nashville whatever, and those I avoid. To each their own. And there's those that are they're just a great blend of the two. Eric is exactly that for me. I will admit, now with his latest release, he seems to have gotten a little poppy. I'm not sure if I'll be grabbing that. But on the first three, Sinners Like Me, Carolina, and Chief, they're just fantastic. Eric's just a backwoods boy, just like me, from North Carolina, and he grew up with Metallica, AC/DC, and classic country. And that's what this album is. It's just a big fusion of all of them. This album went out of print for a while, which scared the bejesus out of me, because it had always been on the list, but I'd always grab something else. I had the CD. And then it went out of print, and I went to look for it one day, and it was going for $100. Like, are you out of your mind? Went back in print. Fortunately, the record company responded, and here it is. And now it's easily available again. I can't recommend it enough. There's great songs. Eric's got a rockin' spirit. The songs are they're killer. He's kind of referred to as the modern day outlaw. I don't know if I'd give him that. That kind of makes him sound a little commercial. He's just a rough-edged country boy. Love it. Here's Roy Acuff's Country. This was a blind buy. It wasn't expensive, and it was my introduction to Roy Acuff, which I really had no experience. This is about as classic country gets, complete with twangy vocals. There's not a single honky-tonk thing about this album. This is just good old Tennessee, down-home, classic country. And it sounds like it. I wouldn't say it's bad by any stretch of the imagination, but with me usually looking for something that's more honky-tonk or more Tears in the Beer or more outlaw country, it's not something that'll get spun a lot. There's a great write-up on the back. As far as I can see or read, it's a compilation of his earlier material from the early to mid or late 50s. And it sounds like the period. It's not at all a bad album. It's definitely worth a few more spins. And I wouldn't hesitate to grab something by Roy Acuff if you see it. If you're a Roy Acuff fan and I missed something on that one, leave me a comment. Let me know. Alright, here's Emmylou Harris's Last Date. I dig Emmylou, I really do. This was a little late for a pickup for me from 1982, but just taking a look at the back cover and kind of looking at the track list here, a lot of this is cover songs from other artists. There was a Springsteen cover song here. You have Grieve His Angel, which is Graham Parsons, who Emmylou was closely connected with forever. You know, this is great. It's got a lot of great honky-tonk bar country moments. There's some slower numbers mixed in here. As singles, I wouldn't dig them, but overall, as an album, it really gels. You got tons of pedal steel happening here, steel guitar, lots of just great work. There's lots of fiddles, and that's what got me into it, was just looking at the track list and then checking out what's going on here for instrumentation. And that's I blind buy country I'm not familiar with. So we have bass, we have mandolins, we have pedal steel, we have fiddle. Yep, I'm in, and it's Emmylou, so why not? I think this was $1. It might even have been a little less. To be honest with you, the only real weak moment is the Springsteen cover. But other than that, it was a great album. It was a hell of a listen. Alright, here we go with another one. This is Carl Jackson, Old Friends, Mild Southern Blend. You know what I knew about this before I picked it up? Not a darn thing. It's from 1978 on Capitol. So, you know, I looked at this and I see the back. We have Confederate flag action happening there and here. You know, I looked at this and the cover said, "Damn right, Rebel Proud." Too bad the music said, "Darn Skippy, don't step in the tulips or I'll cry." It's terrible. Absolutely terrible. Stay away from it. Avoid it. Absolute pedestrian FM ready late 70s, may as well be a disco country album. It's horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. I'll keep it for the cover. Here we go. D.L. Menard, Cajun Saturday Night. 1984 on Rounder Records. Rounder Records was, and may still be, I don't know, based close by in Massachusetts in Cambridge. They specialized in rare and hard-to-find recordings. I knew nothing about D.L. Menard when I picked this up, but I dropped the needle on it at the record shop and it blew me away. Back to basics, boot stomping, honky-tonk, good old classic country time. Some killer twangy vocals. When I was listening to this, I did a little bit of reading up on D.L. Menard, which wasn't hard because it's right here on the back cover. Love classic country records. They put it right there for those that can read. Now, unfortunately, some rednecks are usually too drunk to do that. But in this case, it wasn't a problem. So what I read was D.L. Menard is apparently a Cajun or Creole performer. Is that the right thing to say? He speaks Creole. So he had 2 albums on Rounder Records that were both in English. Everything else was in Creole. There is one Creole track on this. Ricky Skaggs guests on fiddle all the way throughout this, and it was Ricky that did the write-up on the back. This was a killer album. I loved it. I had to play this twice. Just boot stomping, good old classic country good time. If you see anything by D.L. Menard while you're out there in the shops and you dig that just good old classic country good time, do not pass this by. It was absolutely amazing. Fantastic. Welcome to the barn. Close the doors. Hit the lights. D.L. is here. Great album. Alright, here's an album I probably should not have picked up. This is McGuffey Lane, Day by Day. I picked it up because it was $1. Because I looked at the band and I was like, I don't know. It's a promo copy. There's the timing strip. There's a promo stamp on the back. I dropped it on the record player or the turntable at the record shop, and it there wasn't a single ballad to be found, so it kind of sounded all right. I was in a rush. Let's get out of here for $1. Plunk. Here we go. 1984. You know what? 10 songs at 10 cents a piece. It's worth about that. If there was an 11th song on here and it had been $1.10, it would have been over budget. I would say it's very definitely for fans of Alabama, and there's tens of millions of those. So if you are not an Alabama fan, pass this one by. I don't know if it'll even stay in the collection or not. I might give it another spin, but it's about as pedestrian as it gets. And you've got songs called Jamaica in my mind here. And you know what? When country gets that whole island Jamaica thing going on, like What's His Nuts does, it'll come to me. Hang on. Guy's got tons of CDs. What's his name? Kenny Chesney. That's his name. The whole country thing on the beach with the cool drinks and the margaritas. Some of this had that sound. I don't even know why it's here. It didn't probably even deserve a sleeve. Whatever. If you don't dig that stuff and you don't dig Alabama and you can't take the two in a blender, stay away from it. Alright, we're going to close out with 2 family-related records. First, here's Hank Williams Jr. This is Hank Live. This turned up for 50 cents, and it's a French import. You know, it's Hank. I love Hank. I dig Hank as much as the next guy. But this was more akin to a Vegas road show, and not a good one at that. It was, this kind of had, like, don't get me wrong here, I love, blues review shows, and I'll use the Blues Brothers as an example. The way those shows flow when they go, all this instrumentation and introducing the next number, and if you've seen the Blues Brothers, you know what I'm talking about. But that's not what a live Hank Williams Jr. concert should sound like. It's funny to even bring that up. It's just, like I said, if you've seen the movie, you get the parallel. But otherwise, there was Sweet Home Alabama was a bit of a surprise cover, but again, it was like a 45-second clip of the band kicks into Sweet Home Alabama, and for me, I was like, yes! And then it ended. Nuts! Only Country Boy Can Survive, which is one of Hank's signature tunes, really ever caught fire here, and it's actually an unbelievable live version. I will keep it for that, but never again will I spin this front to back. It just was not good. Alright, the last one. Here we go. I said we'd keep it in the family, and here's Hank 3. This is Brothers of the 4x4. I picked this up from Best Buy's vinyl sale. I have to admit, I sadly, sorely, and apologetically misjudged Hank 3 all these years. But there's a reason why. So first of all, Hank 3's vinyl, when it turns up, is generally a bit pricey. This is black vinyl, but there's the labels. Just the center hub. It's usually pretty pricey, and for the past 6, 7, or 8 years, it seems like all of Hank's stuff has been psychobilly, crazy, punk, over the top. Hank's talented, don't get me wrong, and he's done some episodes of his record collection and stuff that were just really awesome, but I just don't dig psychobilly. I don't dig that whole punk infused with country thing at all. This, when I saw it at Best Buy site on sale, I checked out the sound clips, I was floored. I had to have it. So then I got it and I put it on. And here's a few things that blew me away. When Hank 3 does country, he sounds more like his grandfather, Hank Sr., than he does his dad. He's got twangy, nasally vocals. The songs are, the subject matter is all there. It's about being broke or being down on your luck or getting dim or chasing after a possum in a tree. I mean, there's just, nothing's really a downer here. There's no real tears in the beer kind of stuff. There's one or two. But most of it's upbeat. So let's talk about that. Duration. 2 LP set. Yeah. We've all seen them. This is 90 minutes long. There is 16 tracks here. How much more value for your money can you ask for? From what I understand, they're not all like that. This album is just a boot-stomping, raucous, redneck, backwoods good time. Easily already vying for one of the best pickups of 2014. If I'm still making YouTube videos at the end of the year, don't be surprised if this comes up in the list of the 10 best pickups this year. I could not recommend this enough to anyone that just digs real, good, authentic, classic country. That was kind of an automatic. That was neat, huh? What a fantastic album. And now I am backpedaling big time, apologetically, with a tear in my eye, looking to pick up the 4 or 5 classic country albums that Hank has put out. I know there's a couple out there that are pretty reasonably priced, the last couple, but the ones from 99, 2000, Rising Outlaw, and those seem to get way up there. So if anyone watching this has one and they want to get rid of it, you want to do a trade, you want to sell it to me, send me a PM. Drop me a comment. I'm ready to talk and looking to pick them up. This was fantastic. Do not miss out on it. I still don't dig his psychobilly stuff, but I've spun this probably, maybe twice all the way through. But for a 90-minute album where you're actually going to sit and hone in on it and listen to it, that's a pretty big commitment. It's not like a CD where you jump and skip around to your favorite tunes. Vinyl's a commitment. You listen to it. It's not background music. It refuses to be ignored. So it's going to get lots more turntable, lots more airtime here, and I could not wait to talk about it. And that is it for this Honkytonkin update. I hope you dug it. Feel free to leave a comment below if you have one. Thanks for checking this out, everyone. Rock and metal updates coming right around the corner. See y'all.